sort of talk a little bit about the answer to that question, and then one of the things that you had talked about.
Can you talk a little louder?
I can try. The issue of sort of what is cure research is a really interesting one. And if you hark back to the era that I'm old enough to hark back to, which is early treatment, the earliest treatment studies were done not with the idea that we knew anything about what we were going to do, but that we needed to understand enough about HIV to start thinking about treatment. And so the earliest treatment studies were comparing one thing to nothing because there wasn't any effective treatment. And if you look with the perspective of today, you could say, oh, that wasn't treatment because it wasn't like what we have now. And so over time, comparing one to nothing showed that certain ones were okay, and comparing 2 drugs to 1, that. So incrementally over time, all those brave people who participated in those studies led to what we have now, decently effective treatment. It's not perfect, it's got lots of challenges, but we're not going to talk about that. And I think people can think about, quote, cure research, or maybe less eradication than the other kind that people aren't interested in, less interested in having, the functional cure or the remission, because most researchers believe that it is going to take a combination of strategies to ultimately get to either a remission or a cure. And so the studies that people are volunteering for now, they get told this isn't going to cure you, but it still may be it may be on the path to cure. And so if someone tells you, oh, I was in a cure study, they probably could have been. But it's not one that is intended to cure because we really don't have those yet. It's intended to lay the groundwork for eventually being able to come back.
That's a really important point that Anne made, right? Because we do learn things incrementally, and science tends to be incremental. And so the researcher is saying, well, we're more likely to find something that might work functionally before we get to something that's eradicating, may be very important procedurally for research. So there are some strategies people believe might be eradicating off the bat if they were. And that's also where some of the language issue comes in, right? So do we call those studies cure studies, or do we call them, long-term suppression, or managing persistence, and take away the emotional hook of cure and be descriptive about this bringing us closer. And people, I know that there are some different feelings about that in the field of that, because it's contributing towards a cure. But you also want to make sure people are really clear that when we're saying this isn't going to cure you, that somebody might be harboring the, well, but it might idea. You want to make sure that they're not holding the well, but it might idea, when in fact